And by God Almighty, we're live.
And ape warning goodies to all of you Ramble maniacs and all you BC aliens out there. And it goes a little something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Ramblemania show proudly brings to you. I am your 13-time Ramblemania heavyweight champion, your former inaugural Ramblemania tag team champion, your then now forever Ramblemania hardcore champion. I am your villainous live man. I'm Hazel the iZombie. Join along with me as always.
'Tis I, your former 15-time Ramblemania champion of all the cosmos, all thine cosmos, TJ the Great too. TJ the Great.
And this is our WWE Money in the Bank review here on the Ramblemania show. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're going to be talking about the 5-match card that took place in the Scotia Bank Arena in Toronto, Canada, in the 6th. That was hosted by Trish Stratus. Before we even
Came out
get
like once,
no, she had 2 appearances.
twice,
Just 2.
whatever.
Well, still, I mean, they got to do it because it was in her hometown. She was like, "Oh, I'm free. I got nothing to do." I was like,
You get the quick Trish Stratus pop, whatever.
"Yeah, and you get paid, and she gets paid. Why the fuck?"
Yeah, good for her. I ain't mad at her at all. Good for you, Trish.
But it's also like, watching this pay-per-view, I think I've just now come to the realization that there is no point in us complaining about everything that they do in AEW and in WWE premium live events / pay-per-views anymore.
There's no point in complaining, yes, because they're going to keep doing it, but it's not fun. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Like, it doesn't mean
It's
I have
really
to sit
not.
here and enjoy it. It's not fun. Like you said, 5-match show. The show was almost 3.5 hours.
It was
Absolutely
3.5 hours.
zero reason for that. Zero reason for that.
And I'll tell you, like, after we're done, like, reviewing all these matches, which are 5, which is a relief, I'm gonna add all the fucking times together, and we'll find out, why.
I already know what the skews are. Over half the show was non-wrestling. Over half the show. I watch pay-per-views to get away from that. And this is just Raw. I don't want to watch Raw. But I just watched the Raw. That's basically what I watched on the show. Spoilers.
So, before we get to Money in the Bank, I do want to talk real quick about 2 matches that did take place at NXT Heatwave last night. By the way, good show. Good show. Wasn't a big fan of the other 2 matches. I didn't like the Lola Vice Roxanne match. It's really my thing. I think their chemistry just wasn't clicking. But Obafemi versus Wes Lee for that North American Championship. Yo, Obafemi is an absolute monster. Wes Lee is, oh my God, what is going on here? Whatever. Wes Lee had one hell of a match with this dude. Yo, he made him look so good, just flying for this man, just, bumping crazy for him. There were moments where it was just as if, like, Wes Lee could have just taken the whole match and walked out the championship. But, oh my God, there was a frog splash that he did, and Obafemi just grabbed him by the fucking throat after the frog splash and just sit down powerbomb this man.
No, that sounds great. I mean, I did see little clips of Obafemi on the Twitter machine, and a lot of people seem to like him, and he does seem pretty cool. So shout out to the man.
He's an absolute monster. For some of the matches that I've seen that he's done since he's been North American champion, holy shit. That's someone that we gotta keep a close eye on.
The streets have good things to say about that man. Him and Sol Ruka are the 2 people from NXT who I consistently hear, hey, They're actually good.
Yeah, that too. I think it was Kalani Jordan taking on So Ruka for the first it was her first ever defense as the new women's North American champion. And apparently everyone's saying that this is the new Osprey and Ricochet here. I'm like, first of all, the match was amazing, but it was not. You can't say, oh, this was the Osprey Ricochet match. You're like, what are you guys talking about? It performed what they did, and it was great. It wasn't, oh, it was a 5-star banger and all that shit. No, it was so much fun. But the main event, though, was absolutely amazing. Javon Evans is going to be a fucking star. I'm a little shocked on how they did the finish, giving All Ego Ethan Page the NXT World title. Bro, he's been in that company for 6 weeks, and they made him champion. What the? That has to be the quickest run in NXT so far. Trick Williams was a great champion, and Shawn Spears is looking like Eric Young with his entrance. He had a white chair and everything. Javon doing all the flippy shit. He was getting the major pops. There was one spot where he flips over the top rope, tope kohil into the corner. He hits fucking he hits Trick, and the barricade just immediately breaks. And I thought Trick's back was almost broken.
Sounds tough.
The fatal 4-way was amazing. That was obviously the match tonight. The opening of Obafemi and Wesley and the fatal 4-way were the best matches overall.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have nothing to add on NXT. I didn't watch it. I don't.
But they did end the show with a little tidbit since they're already doing this little thing. They originally ended the show with a clip of Joe Hendry's face.
Why? Because memes?
No, I think he might be showing up tomorrow night.
So, because memes. Okay.
So I think that was pretty interesting. I can't wait to see Joe Hendry.
Yeah, they're probably gonna. They're probably like they're probably gonna use him because he's over. He's hot, and if he really, really gets hot and over, then they'll probably just sign him.
And again, he's in the 6-way elimination match at Slammiversary with all the other guys that are already in it. So we got to be ready, prepared for that. And I got to start watching more TNA and be prepared for that as well. Yeah. But as always, guys, for people who are new here in the chat, Young Wolf is here.
Hey, you talking about some Ben Carter?
Yeah. I
forgot what the fuck his WWE name is. Young Wolf, you always be you don't help.
It's Nash Carter.
Okay, Nash. Wait, Nash Carter? Wasn't that Zach what's his name?
Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, what's Ben Carter?
That was Wesley's other name?
No, Ben Carter. What's his name? His WWE name.
Ben Carter. Oh.
Yeah, the British kid. See? And I don't know it. I can't remember it.
Kid?
Hang on. Let me look at because he was on the show, right? I'm pretty sure he was on the show.
Are you talking about Nathan Frazier, who's with Axiom?
Is that who it is? Nathan Frazier, Axiom, one of them?
Well, it's Nathan Frazier. Axiom's the one with the mask.
He's a bloke. Yeah, I don't think he put on a mask in WWE. So yeah, I think it's Nathan Frazier. I think it's Nathan.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. All right. So, people who are new here watching the Ramblemania show, we do this. We recap every match that took place on the pay-per-view here via our own version of star rankings. One is a who booked this shit. 2 is a bad, 3 is a solid good, 4 is a bars, 5 is a goat, and 6 and up is whatever the fuck we want to name it. And then for all the negatives will be a right back skip and a knout. What's going on, Robert?
On the show.
Putting
no bars on the show. Shit.
You know what? I got 1 bar, but after that, everything else is fair game.
I mean, I ain't got no who booked this shit, but ain't no goats, ain't no bars.
Oh no, I know. I definitely don't have any who booked. Well, actually, maybe I do got a who booked this shit, but I don't know. Like I said, I got 1 bars match in this card, but everything else is free game. And
Robert Yoshi, what's going on, people? What's going on, y'all?
All right, well, submitted to the approval of the Ramblemania show. This is Drew getting punked 3 times. Without further ado, what up, 6? Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Let's fucking ramble. It was in Toronto, Canada, at the Scotiabank Arena. The attendance of 19,858 people in attendance. Once again, a 5-match card, 1 men's, 1 women's ladder match, 2 championship matches, and a 6-man tag. We open up the show officially with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Yeah. Was 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Let's begin rambling. Did y'all see Joe Hendry teaser? Yeah, I saw it. We were just talking about it. Well, I was just talking about it. This man doesn't watch that.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to NXT discussion because I don't watch it and I don't give a fuck about it. But this match was very good. I thought Andrade, like I said the other night, I thought Andrade and Carmelo Hayes were the real standout to this. Gable was also very good in this match. Like those 3 guys in particular, I feel like were the glue. Ladder matches, especially modern ladder matches, always have more or less glue guys that hold all the crazy spots together, that take a lot of the bumps, that direct a lot of the crazy traffic that goes on because they're crazy multi-man matches. And those 3 guys were the guys I felt like were doing that throughout the majority of this match. The sunset flip bomb, like there were some brutal, nasty bumps in this. And we had that, and you had the guys that the crowd was really behind to keep them up and supplant it with LA Knight and Jey Uso. Those were like the guys that the crowd wanted to see win this shit were LA Knight and Jey Uso, and neither of them won. But Drew won, and they set up the whole thing for later with him cashing in and bringing Punk back into the story, which we'll get to talk about when that comes around. But yeah, I thought this was a very, very solid ladder match. Like there's so many of these nowadays, and like we always talk about, it's hard to innovate in a modern ladder match, which you don't have to do, and they didn't do. But if you stick to a solid formula and keep shit rocking, it will work out. And I thought this worked out. So I'm gonna give this a high good. Hello, Johnny. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was very chaotic for what they did. They always like to top what they did last year. That's always the analogy that WWE wants to go by with these gimmick ladder matches when they do Money in the Bank. They like to top what they did last year. And they like to try some innovative moves. Like Andrade was bumping his ass off, and he was doing some serious moves here. Like you could tell by his back, explained it all. Carmelo was bumping, and Gable was out here working his ass off. The only thing that I was actually positive about this whole match was there was no interferences for certain people that had certain angles. Like LA Knight, Logan Paul didn't have to show up. Chad Gable, none of the Wyatt Six didn't have to show up. Andrade don't got an angle right now. He's just out there selling drugs on X. You know, Drew McIntyre got his own story, and that's the reason why he got into this match to begin with. What was it right for him to win the Money in the Bank? By the way that they did it, I guess so. And I mean, what can I really say about Jey Uso? The only moment that he got was the yeah. Any of you all thought he was gonna win because he's in the poster? Wow, you are all delusional as hell.
Nigga all over the place. Look at this nigga. He here, he there. What the fuck?
He could be here, there, he could be everywhere. But guess what? He ain't gonna be winning all the big matches. Bro, at this point, he opened up the show on Raw. We can't be calling this man the main event anymore if he's opening up the show.
I mean, they have main eventers open up the show to cut promo.
Enough's enough. But he's going by the main event. Enough's enough, man. Honestly, Andrade was the true star here with all the crazy bumps. Going back to that sunset flip ladder power bomb again onto Hayes. Chad Gable also, there were moments where he did the chaos theory to Carmelo. His head almost hit the edge of the ladder. And when Andrade did that springboard onto Gable when he was hanging onto the ladder by his legs, oh my God, that looked like it hurt like bitch, bro. Honestly, yes, I'm okay with Drew giving the win here because he was the ultimate powerhouse. He was out here throwing ladders like javelins and shit. Just pretty fun. And he got to shut all that yeet shit down, which I was kind of happy to see the crowd like, no. But then they were like, yeah, until the inevitable happened. I will give it, it gets a good and a quarter. Next match we have was Sami Zayn taking on Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was 13 minutes and 15 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Let's ramble.
Yo, I like this. Obviously, Sami Zayn is one of the, great modern baby faces in wrestling. And having Braun Breaker, a guy young, full of energy, and obviously working heel now, go up against a vet like Sammy, I feel like they meshed very well together. I feel like Braun should be like. I feel like Braun, when I was watching him way back when on NXT, originally when he first showed up, I was saying, fuck it, just shoot him to the main roster and let him work with these types of guys, with the Sami Zayns of the world, so that shit, he's already got so many of the tools down already that working with these guys will fill in the blanks and the in-betweens. And I feel like this match was a perfect example of that. Like Braun, his explosiveness and his power and all that shines in this match. But where he still needs to improve and learn is the in-betweens of that, the little bits of psychology in and out, working heel. And Sammy is the perfect guy to work with in that regard because he's a perfect babyface. He knows how to pace a match out and take the heat and make his comeback and do all those little things that take you from a good wrestler to a great wrestler and having a better understanding of the business. So, yeah, I know some people don't like that Braun didn't win. I mean, I'm not following the story. Just as a match between a veteran babyface and a young up and coming monster type heel, I thought this fit that bill very, very well. So I'm going to give this a good and a half.
Can I tell you that from the segment that they did earlier on Raw, it was actually pretty good. So before I say let me tell you what happened before I say my stuff. So Sam was cutting a promo, all this other stuff. He was talking about Braun Breaker, and how he was always talking about how he was always known as the underground guy, the underdog, all that shit. So he's cutting this heart promo. Now Braun Breaker comes out. Can I tell you right now, his new theme, because they gave him this new theme at Money in the Bank, it sucks ass.
Of course it does. Fucking course it does.
So much ass, bro. So he comes out. He's looking like he's about to do the babyface thing, and like extend his hand, but honestly, for like a couple of minutes while Sammy is like talking, this is Braun Breaker
just standing there menacingly,
like right close to this man's face. So he just like hands him the mic, starts to talk for a bit. It's like, everybody wants to know spear.
Oh damn! You see, you just got to be Scotty.
So it was like he just starts attacking and attacking and attacking, and then all of a sudden, here comes everybody else that shows up, all the extras and security, and they break it up. So, like, everybody just has a stupid moment in WWE, and this had to be the stupidest moment. This was like the Dragon Ball Super Arale episode, like Arale versus Vegeta. So they're escorting Braun Breaker out of the ring. All of a sudden, he's just like, he tells the agents, UFO! And they're like, where? He fucking runs like crazy.
They fell for that?
They fell for that shit. So he runs. He fucking thwarts them and he runs like crazy and shit. And he just mauls the shit out of Sami Zayn, bro.
So they're watching WCW 99 segments. They should be. They honestly should be with Braun Breaker. Just have him watch all of his uncle's shit. Just be like, hey, you see what your uncle's doing here? Just do that.
I think this is what it is. Like, I think it's like more the physicality of his uncle, but he talks like his dad.
He's talking like his dad. Now, when I was watching him, he was talking straight. He sounded straight up like his uncle. Like, he sounded like Scott.
I think that's where it's starting to transition. But
so
now
he's starting to sound more like Rick now. Okay.
Now, it's like a mixture of both. I think it's like when he gets all physical is when he starts talking like he's Scott. But when he's like
okay, when he's chilling, he sounds like Rick.
Yeah, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. So
he turns into a big Papa Pump when he's mad. That rules. Go ahead, my bad.
Get my pigs.
Get my pigs.
All right, so now this match though. This is my match of the night. I'm just gonna say it right now. Yes, this was highly competitive. And I get sick and tired of Michael Cole saying how Sami Zayn is the underdog of the underground. Like, that's it. He's not that anymore. He was never that. Like, why do we keep going back to that? Like, the real underdog here was fucking Braun Breaker.
I mean, Sami was an underdog, but then, he stopped being when he won.
But they still call him that. Michael Cole still calls him that.
And yeah, that's their problem.
That's the issue, and it's like, dude, and it's like the Cena Punk thing. It's like, Cena's not the underdog anymore. He's the dynasty. Sami Zayn is now that dynasty. Punk is the underdog, just like Braun Breaker is the underdog here. Because, like you said, you was watching them during that during the dying days of the Black and Gold. I was watching it too until I had to transition to that 2.0 shit. And I had to watch his entire run. When he was NXT champion for a year, when he was going back and forth with Dolph Ziggler on the belt, like, I've been saying how, like, he should have lost the title in so many occasions because this guy was TV ready. He was absolutely TV ready. He has the agility. He has the stamina. He has the fucking charisma. He does need a lot. He does need a lot of work on psychology. And yeah, Sami Zayn is going to be that prime example of him getting to that heel shit. And tonight on Raw, he actually proved it, that he could be a really good heel. We just got to make him look like the bully here. And that's what's working right now. I'm not hating on the entire match because, that match really felt like a Black and Gold match because they was out there fighting. And they got the crowd.
It would have worked as like
it got the crowd up. I think it's gonna work. I do believe it's gonna work because after what I just saw earlier, what I just explained, I think it's not over. Like, yeah, they're gonna add Sheamus involved in the occasion because he still needs to get his Intercontinental Championship shot, whatever, which will probably be SummerSlam. But he and Sami are not done. They're absolutely not done. This is the match that's getting bars in the quarter.
All right, I respect it.
This was the match of the night. This was a competitive match. This was hard hitting. they were fighting. And I don't say that a lot for Sami Zayn. Like when he goes out there and he gives it his all. Oh, he gave it his all with this young blood. And this was Braun Breaker's premium live event debut. So this was absolutely his time to shine, and he showed it here.
Yeah, good. Hazel, what do you think about Liv on the couch with Dom tonight?
I don't want to talk
That's a weird statement.
Well, no, because that actually just happened. That's why I didn't want to like say what was going on. I just wanted to focus on this. And now we get to Damian Priest taking on Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre made the cash in, turning it into a triple threat match, but the stipulation was still in place. It's Seth Rollins won the world title from Damian Priest. Priest must leave the Judgment Day. But if Priest won his match against Seth, Seth can no longer challenge for the world title as long as El Campeón is still El Campeón. This was 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
First things first. Wolf says Effie's gonna face Sean Ross Sapp. What the hell? Well, I mean, Sean Ross Sapp has wrestled before.
What the hell?
I guess.
Oh my god! No
I guess.
way. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that? Why would anyone want to see Sean Ross Sapp wrestle? That would be like saying Ryan Satin is back on television.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. Sean Ross Sapp actually did like train and shit. So
no, he did train. I mean, I'm joking. I'm just joking around, but I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Whatever. Cool. Johnny says he enjoyed this match. Oh yeah, Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. I thought was a solid match because they're solid guys. Priest and Seth. But I thought like the booking sort of distracted from it with, like I said, they kept looking toward the ramp during the match, and the commentators kept talking about Drew McIntyre constantly. Like, I get it. You're telling the story. Drew won the briefcase. And yes, I by the end of the match when he came out, they finally fucking said, oh, Drew said he was going to cash in during the match. So, yes, that's the story you're telling. Drew said he was going to cash in during the match. So they're looking out for Drew. But I think in doing that, you took away from the heat of Priest and Seth because they're working this match and they're going back and forth. They got ebb and flow going, but they keep breaking it. They keep breaking it because Drew, is Drew coming? Drew, and then Drew finally comes. Then obviously you know what happens next. CM Punk comes out, fucks him over, and by proxy fucks Seth over. So they're setting up another story there. Like, this is one of the situations where I funnily enough, I talk about with AEW all the time. Too many stories. You're out here trying to tell these stories and set up all these matches, but meanwhile you have a match going on right here that you have now, undermined, as well as the Money in the Bank briefcase, which gets wasted. Great, whatever. So yeah, I thought the work from everyone involved was good enough, but I think the booking was too noisy and distracted from what could have been a good match. And I mean, yeah, the Damian Priest didn't kick out of a pin. It was a botch, whatever.
Yeah.
Shit happens. I'm not even that pressed about that. I'm more pressed about the booking issues of it. But I'm gonna give it a high, bad, low, good.
Damn, I mean, they try to give it their all here. And I think that was the problem, is that there was the distraction of, oh, when is Drew coming? When is Drew coming? When is Drew coming? And it's like, it's like they were on that time constraint and then of doing what they needed to do. And then when that time came, it was like, okay, now we have to focus on this, which kind of just overshadowed what Damian Priest's world title reign and Seth Rollins making his return, which honestly, I'm going to say it again. He never should have came back. He should have just stayed away for a while longer. And I'm going to keep saying it. He should continue to go away because why do we need you at this point? I get it. Yeah. Like now with everything that happened once Drew showed up and then we had the fucking cash in and then became the triple threat with Punk getting involved, now making it a no disqualification, which was basically the scapegoat for Punk to get involved in the whole thing. Screw Drew over, killed two birds with one stone, screw Seth over, never getting another world championship match. Like, chill the fuck out. Like this man is not going to lose the belt to Gunther soon. I'm a little miffed that everyone's just going to talk about how this man didn't kick out of the Falcon's arrow. Like, bro, accidents happen in wrestling. I know it's going to affect him, but I really shouldn't be criticizing it that hard. And the fact that, like, this is what y'all basically going to look at Damian Priest going forward now, it is absolutely embarrassing. Because now y'all clearly saying he is not our champion. He is not building up ratings. Let me let you guys in on a newsflash. Kevin Nash held on to the title for a year in 1995, and he didn't build up any fucking ratings within that year. And they still had him hold on to that belt for a whole year. Come on, guys. Like, I get it. The title reign is not, not what everyone was thinking, but they would have just given it to Seth if that was the case, right? Right? If that was the case, if they knew that Damian Priest was not making a draw since he was becoming world champion, they would have just given the belt back to Seth Rollins. But did they do that? No. You know why? Because guess what? Triple H still has faith that Damian Priest could do something to get this world championship reign feel like it's worth watching. And I think the one with Gunther is the one that probably everyone will start paying attention to. Because now there's going to be some friction going on in the Judgment Day. Now I'm going to get on to the Drew stuff because I don't really give a fuck about Seth Rollins. With him showing up, yeah, wasteful briefcase. Everyone else that participated in there basically sacrificed their entire bodies and, earned nothing out of it. Like, Andrade could have made good use to that Money in the Bank briefcase, but I get it. They had to tell more of a story, but it overshadowed Damian Priest's title reign. It just overshadowed Seth's return because now we're going back to Seth Rollins and CM Punk again, which was the original storyline from the beginning, but Seth was injured and then Punk got injured. So, I was happy for the big pop for Punk showing up because it needed to be necessary for Drew to get screwed over because now we got to do the match at SummerSlam. It has to happen. It's going to be a big fight feel. Just get it over with. This is getting a bad. It was not delivering to its expectations, and the crowd was absolutely dead for this. Once Drew came out, that's when everyone started waking up. Because that's
why would
what
they care when they
waiting
knew Drew was coming out? They knew
that's what everyone was waiting for.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cared. Nobody gave a fuck about anything that took place within the 14 minutes and 40 seconds that these two men competed for, that even Drew got involved with. Bad. Before we get to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, you want to talk about Cena's appearance real quick and how he's announced that he is retiring starting at 2025, ending at 2025. So
yeah,
one
John
last
Cena's,
Royal Rumble. Go ahead.
He's doing his last year next year. One last Rumble, one last Mania. I assume just whatever, one last of every show he's going to be on that year. He says January to December. It's his final run in the company. So, obviously John Cena is John Cena. He's probably the last real top guy that WWE like made, you know, and really made and turned into a big success and all that. Like he's the last top guy that's probably ever really going to break out from WWE. Maybe not, but at current point, that's how it looks. You know, I'm a millennial, so I had my Cena hate over the years, and you know, going back, obviously, I've grown to appreciate his work, and I've gained an appreciation for his skill, and you know, the way he handled things like One Night Stand '06 and Money in the Bank 11, and all those types of situations where he was like the away game guy. And thinking about how the guys after him, like thinking about babyface Roman Reigns and how he crumbled in those environments. Like he wasn't ready for that shit. And John Cena, he faced down that shit like a beast. So, thinking about those things in hindsight really upped my respect for Cena and what he did as a top guy. And in fact, my outlook on him now is I do think he was a worthy top guy. And I do think he's one of the greats. I don't think he's the best ever or anything like that. Like, I think that's just like a lot of, marketing and people who were kids during his time propping him up. But I do think he's one of the greats. And I actually think that he managed to be a great in spite of the way he was booked in WWE. And almost not because of it. Like, because obviously they pushed him to the moon, but they pushed him to the moon at like the detriment of almost everyone else. And there was so much malaise and trying to get a guy to come up under him to the point where they couldn't for a long time. And I think Cena being able to turn out so many all-time great matches and sequences in that time period is what really like cements his legacy. So, all respect to John Cena. He's had a hell of a career. It would be fun to go to one more show and do all the chants. The John Cena sucks. Like, to have that one more time, that energy that he brought, because he really did bring in it. Like, that was another thing you realize over the years, like in the guys that came after him. He really made you care. He did. So, my respects to Cena. He's not the GOAT, but he's one of the greats. I will give him his flowers as one of the greats.
In the realm of WWE, yeah, he's one of the greats in their eyes. Outside of that, that says otherwise. Over the years, when watching, Cena make his debut, face Kurt Angle, to now cutting a promo in Toronto, how he's going to be retiring, and he's going to be having this last time is now tour from the start of 2025, from the very first episode of Raw going on Netflix to the final Royal Rumble, the final Elimination Chamber, the final WrestleMania, maybe the final Saudi show, the final SmackDown, but he's going to be having a couple of more matches. So there are a lot of people in his bucket list that, could step into in the ring with Cena and have, either one of the best matches ever or one of the most mid matches ever. I'm not saying that Cena has lost his step. He's still great for what he could do in that ring. But now it's just there's a lot of new guys that I know that could be carried all the way to the top just by working with Cena. It moves you a bit. Win, lose, or draw if you face off against Cena. And there are possibly some rematches that we could be seeing going down the line within 2025. Maybe one more match with Punk. He said it in the press conference. He wants to face Cena one more time since he's going to be ending it pretty soon. Maybe this WrestleMania, next year's WrestleMania, we could get that. No, we can't. I don't want to see Cena versus Orton again. That was absolutely terrible. But
if you want to do it on like a Raw or something.
Yeah, I think overall, like throughout 2025, when we watch the World Wrestling Federation or World Wrestling Entertainment. I think there's just going to be moments where we're just going to be thanking Cena for everything that he's done. And we should just start now since, he's done everything for this company for all these years, being their poster boy, for all the times that we've hated him, that we wanted him off our TV, that we always said, fuck you, Cena. Cena sucks. You can't wrestle. Same old shit. From the rapping, all that other stuff, from the U.S. Open Challenge to everything that he was doing with AJ, Roman, all these new guys coming in. Just thank you. And we're probably gonna be saying a lot of that going into the new year once your retirement tour begins.
Yeah.
So might as well start now. Get a head start while you can. Now we get to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. This was 16 minutes and 50 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on it.
So yeah, I got the rewatch the beginning of this. Yeah, I'll say this match did not start out good. It started rough. They were fucking shit up. And listen, like I'm gonna say in this because this turns around. But like I usually say when I talk about like botches in wrestling, I don't care because it's wrestling and shit happens. But when you get to a point where like shit gets out of control and you gotta like reset, that's when it gets like, okay, stop. Everybody stop. Chill out. And it got there. But it got there. They sort of got themselves together and the match remained dangerous and it was still like there was still clunkiness, but it started working after a while. Like as we hit the middle of this match and we get toward the end, it got a lot better actually. Like this built into something that I would actually say is a good match, a very good match. And I'll actually say alongside the men's Money in the Bank, these are my two matches of the night. These two matches.
Yeah.
Because like the way this shit ended up, these women went fucking crazy. They took insane bumps. Like, and obviously that was their intention from get-go. They intended to go out there and go crazy and pop the office and all that shit. But once they actually got it going, like the driver from EO off the top of the ladder, Chelsea Green dying, like, and the crowd going crazy for her because she's she repping the country.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this match, this is the perfect example of, hey, just because something starts out bad doesn't mean you can't turn it around. Because I genuinely feel like these ladies turned this around and made it a very good match by the end. So I'm going to give them their props, and I'm going to give this the same score as the men's, a high goods. Again, alongside the men, match of the night. The ladder matches were the best thing on the show for me.
Yeah. From the start of it, it was all over the place. Like literally, I felt like everybody just rushed everything that they needed to do. And I think that was the problem. Like a lot of the spots that they were doing were not connecting. Even some of the physical stuff that they were doing, they weren't even connecting with them. Like Lyra and Zoe were the prime examples of that. Like, what is it? Zoe Stark does a Samoan drop onto Lyra, but they miss the ladder and Lyra's elbow hits the ladder. Meanwhile, Zoe goes up to the top, does a springboard Z360 or whatever the fuck she does with that spinning maneuver, and the back of her head hits the ladder and barely connects with Lyra. But then Lyra comes back with this awesome spot where she's hung up on the ladders and Io's trying to climb, and she deadlifts herself to grab Io waist lock and then just launch her off. And Io looked like she went neck first. Naomi was the scary one with the two ladders in between. She was going to do the splits. One ladder was already leaning and she was already about to lose her balance. Oh yeah, and Lyra botching the tornado DDT because she slipped. Again, it was just botch after botch after botch, and it was just like, oh no, this does not look good. And Tiffany, doing her thing here, she aligned herself with Chelsea Green for a while. Io was bumping like crazy here because she's the veteran. She's won the most ladder matches in her WWE career. When they set those two tables up, my first thought was, yeah, this is the Chelsea Green spot, huh? Because they're saying how she's afraid of heights, so she's going to be the one to go through those two tables. And that's when it just started getting really good. When they had the ladder set up in two sets of bridges, I'm like, all right, Lyra and who was it? Naomi could go through that one ladder. Meanwhile, Io and Zoe were just gonna. Zoe died the most here when she took that crazy Falcon arrow off the top of the ladder into that bridge.
Yeah, that shit was nasty.
Like
she bounced off the fucking ladder. That was disgusting.
That was absolutely disgusting. Like the crowd definitely woke the hell up.
Yeah.
After that spot, and then that's when we got Chelsea climbing up the ladder, thinking that she was gonna win because we're in our hometown. Here comes Tiffy. She rushes up there, pushes Chelsea off, and Chelsea, for dear life, just crashes through two tables. Tiffany wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think this was the right move. Io Sky has her own business with Lyra on Raw and with the damage control. Naomi is basically still on Bayley's good side. It's only a matter of time before she goes after her again. Zoe Stark just has to go back with Shayna Baszler to Bloodsport again. And yeah, Chelsea Green had to die. So
she did.
Yeah. This is getting I'm also giving this one a goods and a quarter. This was fun. Actually, no, it gets a 3.5. This is absolutely fun. Absolutely fun indeed. I wouldn't say that this was better than the men's. Like the men's, it was more like they knew what they were doing here. For the women here, it's like everything was a bit rushed, and some of the women were new here, didn't know how all this shit works. It's like wait for your spots,
It took the women a bit to get there, as opposed to the men who were like kind of there from jump.
Yeah, like for men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches, I'd say the men's was the better one.
That's fair.
But yeah, goods and a half. And now our main event in a 6-man tag team match, the bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu, with Tonga Loa at their side, taking on Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. This was the longest match of the night with 24 minutes and 40 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Let's bring it home.
Zero reason for this to be that long. Like I was saying, watching this was a house show match, bro. Like the only two guys that made this feel any type of special were Jacob Fatu and Kevin Owens. Who obviously with Kev, you expect that from him. Like he goes hard no matter what the fuck he's doing. Like Kevin Owens is definitely one of those dudes who I know if I'm watching a WWE show and Kevin Owens comes out, it's like, all right, he about to go hard. I'm about to watch something good. And Jacob Fatu, obviously, this was his debut, so a lot of the focus was put into making him, look strong and everything. And Jacob Fatu's great, so that worked. Like they did, like the spot where he took the Orton DDT, and then Orton's like, "Yeah, I'm on my shit." RK. Oh, wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, I forgot you Samoan. And yeah, he takes the DDT bump, pops up, and he's like, "Nah, I'm with that shit. I'm Samoan. I got a hard head."
Yeah, hard head.
Yeah. So
I know that shit.
Like he looked like an absolute beast in this match. He looked great. Y'all can chill out with the Jacob Fatu is so dangerous that they need the National Guard to fucking watch him. Like you ain't gotta do all that.
WWE Fall of Triple H had to get clearance from some sort of police department to get this man into Canada. I'm like,
not necessary.
what? Yeah, I thought like this man was carrying fucking AR-7s and shit.
Making him sound like a terrorist or some shit.
What
like,
the fuck?
I get it. He's a big, mean, tough dude. Yes, you can show that in the match, and you did. You did a decent job of showing that in the match. So yeah, he whooped ass. He was great. Kev obviously great as a babyface, and then the people love Cody and the people love Randy. So that part of it at least kept them up, so that when they came in and did their things, it was shit was still rocking. And then of course we get the, as is customary, bloodline shenanigans. Fucking Tangaloa punching a nigga in the ass. Even though, you know what? People were clowning him for that, but I didn't realize he fucking got his noggin knocked when he took the fucking tope into the table. Yeah.
Tama Tonga got hit in the head when he was trying to like low blow Kevin Owens from when he was trying to spoil that package pile driver. Tama Tonga hit his own brother in the top of the head. But so, yeah, like, that concussion dinged him up.
Yeah, truth be told, like, Tangaloa might have got dinged, unfortunately. So, I'm not gonna, be too hard on him. And yeah, like, I mean, I like Tama Tonga. I've always liked Tama Tonga. But you know what you're getting out. You essentially know what you're getting out of Tama Tonga in the pay-per-view match. Like, he's at a level. Yeah, again, Jacob Fatu, Kevin Owens. I would like to see them one-on-one, actually. Jacob Fatu and Kevin Owens. If they do that at any point, I will tap in for that.
We'll probably get that soon. Maybe SummerSlam or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say if they do that on a pay-per-view, that'd be even better because I'm gonna watch it. But if they happen to pop that on the TV, I might just tap in on that because I'm interested in that. But this match, again, house show match. There's only really two guys and a couple things that you really got out of it. Bat. Mid-tier bat. 2.5.
If there's only one positive that I can say about this match is it was chaotic. Once it got pretty crazy, that's when the match actually started getting interesting. I didn't really give a fuck about it being, a regular 6-man tag. For that, you should have just made this a tornado tag and just have everybody fight each other on the outside. Maybe it would have had more of an interesting fight feel, but it didn't. Man. Yeah, it was really all about, Jacob Fatu here, showing off his in-ring debut, putting in that work because that man knows how to fucking work. He knows how to play this character really well. Honestly, bro, I'm not with it on the whole solo thing. I'm not behind it, not one bit. I think it's bland. I think it's boring. I mean, yeah, cool. They're giving him all this airtime because whatever. But he's so boring.
Damn.
And I want to give it a chance because this bloodline shit is gonna lead to something getting good. And I'm afraid that when it gets good, that's when Solo's gonna start getting good. Like, we're not trying to make him look good here. I don't know, man. It's if it's not working, then it shouldn't work now. But they're trying to fucking, give him this main event spot, and that's what's gonna happen at SummerSlam. Since, like I said, he was gonna pin Cody Rhodes, and he pinned fucking Cody Rhodes. Once that was said, I'm like, yep, we're doing Solo versus Cody in the main event of SummerSlam for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Are they going to give it to Solo? I don't know. But this company has had many ways of pulling some type of stupid shit like that. But this whole thing was just, I couldn't take it. I mean, GOD did their thing. I think that was fun. The fact that, Tongaloa got concussed during that tope suicida and his head hit the table. I was worried there, and then when KO tried to tease the package pile driver, which, all right, Triple H, I see what you're doing. You're trying to let us know that some moves are coming back, huh? You're gonna let us do all the indie stuff here. All right, let's go. Just for KO to get fisted, and then he get hits in the dick, and then Tama Tonga's brother gets hit in the head by his own brother. So it was funny for what it was. But they're really pushing Solo as a big main eventer, and it's like, no, it's not working. I'm hoping after this whole thing with Cody that something turns around here. Like maybe we'll have Jacob be the leader instead, because that motherfucker's over. This is getting a bad in 3/4. How do you feel about Hangman and Swerve? Says Benny. It's gonna happen. And after that promo that Hangman cut after his match, yeah.
I got more to say about that Hangman promo than this whole fucking show. That shit was so fucking good. Oh my god. Oh my god, that Hangman promo. Holy shit. It's like I said, it's like I always said. AEW is never better than when that man is the main character of the fucking promotion. And like the way he's knocking his belt against this shit, he threatened my family. He broke into my home. You see hatred in that man's eyes. You see venom. You see fury.
That's murderous intent.
Wrong. And he's not wrong. That's the beautiful thing about the storytelling. Nothing he said is wrong. Swerve did break into his house. He did threaten his family. And the people still loved him after that. Hangman is not wrong. This shit is going to be incredible. It's going to be match of the year. It might be match of the year.
AEW is for the sickos.
Real sicko shit. Like, that was fucking incredible, bro. Like, I love that Hangman promo. Like, that shit had me locked in crazy. I can't wait for
Bro, when I saw that shit, I'm like, yo, I was actually scared. Yo, I never got so scared for a wrestler that was this serious, and Hangman really sold me on this. I'm like, bro, now I kind of want you to take the belt off Swerve, because it's going to lead you getting back with the Elite. And then that's when the Elite will have all the fucking gold. And here's how they do it.
Demented. He ain't joining them.
You don't know, bro. It's going to be a matter of time. It's going to be a matter of time. Either that, or if they don't join him, then we could still do Kenny Omega Hangman 2, could run that back, and then that's when we can have Kenny beat Hangman.
Well, you can easily do that because neither of them are going to be in the Elite down the line. Like, Kenny's out, and when he comes back, he's not going to be in because they kicked him out. So
yeah. Match of the night, worst match, and then final grade for the show.
Match of the night. Like I said, I'm gonna tie it up between the men's and women's Money in the Bank. Enjoyed both of those actually equally. They had different strengths and weaknesses, but I thought overall they came together to make two very good ladder matches. So you definitely check those out if you can. Worst match of the night. I guess the main event. And not that it was particularly bad. It wasn't. Just, the rest of the show was better. It's just by process of elimination. Like, the main event wasn't that special in comparison to the rest of the show, which also wasn't that special, but, like, the rest of the show had some really good shit, and this was just okay. I guess the worst match is the main. And overall grade for the show, I'm going to give it a C. Again, if this would have been a 2.5 hour, even 2 hour show with, those 5 matches, it would have been tight. They didn't get out. It would have been a solid show. I probably would have given it like a B or whatever. But when you throw in that 1.5 hours of filler and nonsense, it's draining. And yes, like a 14 match 4.5 hour AEW pay-per-view is also draining, but at least there I'm getting my wrestling. I watch a wrestling pay-per-view to get wrestling, and there are so many breaks and nonsense and unnecessary bullshit in between matches on these. It's like I said at the top. I don't want to watch Raw. I watch WWE pay-per-views only, in large part because I am not interested in WWE TV, and the way they do these pay-per-views feel like WWE TV, and I don't like that. So C.
You add all these matches together, all the times, you got less than 85 minutes of wrestling. 84 minutes and 75 seconds of wrestling. This is a 3.5-hour show.
That is less than an hour and a half of wrestling. On a
You
3.5
ads.
hour show.
You ads are the fucking problem. We say how AEW does way too many matches and that they need breathers. We say how WWE does less matches but add all these fucking fillers like it's a Dragon Ball Z episode of filler. Like, it's ridiculous. I think at this point, like, again, there's really just no point in complaining about these anymore because this is how they work and this is how they're going to continue to keep pushing their products because they want to sell you on stuff. Best match of the night, like I said, the Intercontinental Championship match. It was the only match that I gave a 4.5. It was a very fun match. The worst match I'd have to say was the it's between the 6-man tag and the World Heavyweight title match. I have to give it to the world title match because, everything with Drew. There was too much going on to distract you from Damian Priest actually, having a good world title match and that fucked up pin attempt, that fucked up Falcon Arrow botch is what everyone is going to keep talking about Damian Priest forever until something else that he does fucking makes that irrelevant. I'm going to give the show, honestly, it gets a C-. Not one of the best premium live events, but not one of the worst.
Yeah, should feel like I said, TV.
But there was a tie that took place within this premium live event. Myself and Young Wolf tied in the show, and we had to do a simulation, which he lost, making me now the 13-time Ramblemania heavyweight champion, which means July 20th will be TNA Slammiversary, the next championship defense, followed by SummerSlam, and then All In, then probably All Out after. But yeah, as always, we will be back tomorrow night, come Tuesday TV, where we will finish off our Global Guts live stream. We will be back Thursday for the Total Nonstop Ramble and the Ramble of Honor. Rampage on Friday, the Collision this Saturday, and Come Weekly TV this Sunday. But
well, shit. Young Wolf said this man Carlito said Dom looked hard. He what? He gangster. That's what he meant, right?
No. Liv had him in a sex position backstage, like how Triple H had Trish in a sex position backstage.
Oh, so like literally oh no. What's wrong with this?
Yeah. And everybody and all the dudes in the Judgment Day were watching. I'm like, oh, you guys are a bunch of cucks. But it looks like
they should not be doing this, bro. They shouldn't be doing this storyline.
What did I tell you? Why is this happening?
No, I'm saying they shouldn't be doing this storyline because they're under investigation for fucking whatever.
Well, they're doing it and they don't care. It looks like they
really don't.
There's been enough rambling on this show, where it is time for us to bring it home here on the Ramblemania show. And yes, Raw Rants will make its return next week. So I hope you all be ready for that. But great one. It is now time for you to tell all the Ramble Maniacs and all the BC aliens where to find us.
You already know where to find us. Find us on Instagram at Ramblemania Show, at Banter Club Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Ramblemania, Facebook.com/Ramblemania Show. Also find a group there, Ramblemania Show's Banter Club. We and the other wrestlers, podcasters, everybody we associate with, plus all our goings on and all that's going down. As far as audio, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere podcasts are found. Search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club. As far as visuals, Twitch.tv/Ramblemania Show. We are on Spotify video. We are on YouTube. Search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club. When you like the videos, click subscribe, click the bell, so that when the new content drops, go straight to you. As far as me personally, find me on Instagram at TJ the Great One. That's TJ the GR, the number 8, the number 1. And find me on Twitter at TJ the Great. That's TJ the GR, the number 8. It's as simple as that.
Oh, you won't get your title back. TJ the Great. TJ the Great. As always, you can find me on Instagram at iZombie, IZombies. Thank you for everybody that joined us here on the chat tonight. We will see you tomorrow night for Come Tuesday TV, more Global Guts. For TJ the Great, I'm Hazel the iZombie. This has been our WWE Money in the Bank 2024 review here on the Ramblemania Show. We want to wish all of you out there 8-point goodies. You're Asian fucking sweet.
Backhand style out here, and a good fight and a good night. Hands up.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.